Thanks for listening to The Front Lounge with Congos. You can catch this live every Tuesday on our Twitch. That's twitch.tv/congosmusic. Also, make sure to join our Discord. That's congos.com/discord, DISCORD. A lot of fun people there. It's a great community. If you'd like to support the podcast, join our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Congos. You'll get access to all the archives of streams that we've done on Twitch, plus merch discounts and more.
18 quotes.
Hey guys, we're just talking about our success our stats on Twitter and how we're finally getting more than 3 likes and how glorious it feels.
Yeah, it's called trickle-down tweet impressions. Comes
All you have to do is reply to big accounts with dumb shit, and people notice. And
I noticed myself just scrolling down the explore page though of Twitter, like for half an hour, trying to find something stupid that I could respond with stupidly to.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
I say, whenever we get like a good piece of news or some stats, something got 100 likes or whatever, it's like, at least it brings meaning to our life. That's what I say to myself.
Yeah, and then you see people like Max from Eve 6 and one fucking tweet changed his life,
Dude, why don't you
now he's a slave to Twitter.
Hold on, dude. Can we tweet this right now while we're on the podcast? Just tweet, I was a virgin when I wrote the Come With Me Now song. Just tweet that. Just fucking...
No, we had another take on that.
No, just copy it exactly. That's funny. Just fucking... Because it was like... Just, and in the replies or something, tag him, but just be like, basically, it worked for him. And it's also funny because how old were you when he wrote that?
I'm 39. All right, so
I'm serious. Can I just do that right now?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, Twitter literally means
nothing. But you have
nothing.
to copy the exact wording that he did. It was something like...
Yeah, but his account's gone. He's been banned.
What?
Because he was impersonating Radiohead.
I saw some of those things. I was confused because you can have a verified...
I see it.
He probably got a suspension.
Oh yeah, it was suspended.
Yeah, well, he removed the profile picture. Now it just says a period on it. Okay, yeah. I'm just going to tweet here.
It's actually much funnier with "Come With Me Now" as like virgin when you wrote it.
Because the way his tweet that blew up in the pandemic was, "I was a virgin when I wrote the Heart in the Blender song."
Right.
Yeah.
When I wrote the "Come With Me Now"
you have to
song.
find the exact wording of it.
Yeah, that was
in order
it.
for it to.
No, that was it.
No, it was like I was literally, or I was a literal. It was something like that.
Okay.
Here, I'll Google it.
Yeah.
Someone out there in the chat must know what that tweet was. It's it's funny now the amount of people that are following him that you just randomly meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's like a Twitter celebrity.
Yeah, it's a real
I mean,
thing.
who fucking like AOC retweeted him? Something like that. Yeah.
But AOC is one of those politicians that's always looking, like she probably has a team looking for like, what's the new hot thing? It's very calculated, like all politicians, obviously.
Yeah.
It says, I was literally a virgin when I wrote the Heart in the Blender song. No capitals, no punctuation.
Okay.
No, just say Max from Eve 6 was literally a virgin when I wrote the Come With Me Now song.
It's not. We could do every version of this. I just like copying it. Not even a capital on the I.
Nothing. No 0 capitals.
What an idiot.
That's the cool way to tweet. Yeah, no grammar.
Max, you hear that, dude? Just capitalize your I, dude. It's not cool. I was literally a virgin when I wrote.
So this is the Front Lounge podcast. We've stopped doing an intro because it's too long and people don't just tune out if you've got that sitting there for too long. So we're just going to go straight into us talking and it'll seem like it's off the cuff, but we actually planned this whole thing. Today we're going to be talking about, have you guys seen, well, let's just start talking about it, Apple Karaoke Mode?
No.
Mm-hmm.
So Apple Music, I don't know if Spotify's got something similar. You can, on any song now, press a little microphone button and turn the vocals off.
Oh my goodness. How are they doing that?
It's some kind of AI plug-in sort of thing that's isolating vocals and pulling them down.
I tried it on a Beyonce song and it was entirely silent.
Dude, that's fucking insane.
I mean, it's kind of cool. It's also kind of I guess I don't care. You know, like it's cool. It'll be cool to see if people do like some cool karaoke on our songs.
I mean, the
At the
legality.
same-
I was thinking, like, what's the legality of that? And it's probably zero because you're playing it back on a device. Like, if you said you can't do that, then someone could say, well, you can't equalize my track. Don't turn the high end up. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's a gray area.
Well, it's different than an individual doing it. Like, it's a service doing it. They're altering mastered recordings.
I can see it as a trend. Maybe we should try to capitalize on this, get people to post themselves singing karaoke. And then we can do a remix of it and judge them.
We should we should karaoke other people's songs.
I saw that, did you guys see the Jay-Z song that was entirely AI? I think a producer did the beat, but then the vocal and the lyrics were all Jay-Z.
The vocal, no, that was a voice changing AI. It wasn't generated.
Oh, okay.
So it takes the voice, like those videos.
That's still crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I thought it was way more. Yeah.
Hey, Twitter just changed their little top left icon from a little bird to the Doge dog.
Really?
Yeah. That's
Jeez.
I have not financial advice, but I guarantee people are going to go and ape into Doge and try and milk this right now.
Yeah. I'd like to.
I'd be interested to see what he does with payments because there's no social media app that really has built in payments properly. And I think it's whoever does it first and does it well is going to be a major thing. Like your entire life, your banking life is going to be on your social media, like Venmo, but it's going to be all much snapper and quicker and tied to your social credit score.
I mean, I'm interested to see how this whole blue check mark thing actually plays out. Like, because obviously
the amount of anger is insane.
There's an entire faction of people that think it's the worst thing ever, and they're threatening to leave. Like New York Times has said they're not going to pay for verification, and obviously
it's all performative because who was it? Jake, one of those guys, tweeted a picture of his Instagram and is talking about Meta Blue. You mean
that Instagram's doing it too?
Yeah, and this was known about for a long time. People just didn't think it. They thought it was like some Twitter. It's been the fucking plan for years, which is that your real life persona will absolutely be tied to your online persona. And there will be things where you're not tied to
every
it.
one of these companies has been looking for ways to monetize their service other than through ads.
Other than selling information to the CIA.
Yeah.
Say my name, friend on the chat saying they despise the new change. They like being able to follow or see the posts for the people they actually follow. You can still do that. And generally I'm in agreement with that thing because I would hate, particularly on Instagram, when you hit refresh or something by accident and then you lose all the people you want to go back and see something. But from a perspective of trying to interact with people, this For You tab that's now on Twitter is the most useful tool because
for discoverability.
Yeah, because we're now seeing things that we weren't seeing before, and now you can just go shit post on anyone's.
It's like Instagram, the engagement and content on Instagram has just exploded because remember how it used to be if you were going down your feed and you got to the end of your people that you follow. So if you followed 25 people, very quickly you'd reach the end of that and then you just stop using the app and you'd be like, you would have to go somewhere else to look at it. Now in your feed, it starts suggesting stuff to you. So you'll spend hours on that. And now videos that would never have been seen are just exploding with interaction and engagement.
Now, I end up watching someone eat fucking protein waffles. It's just,
the amount of people I see just biting into like raw meat.
Well, yeah,
it's insane.
You know what's funny is I think that because we all log into our shared accounts, like the Congress account on Instagram, I don't know how it deals with the algorithm because it's not entirely local. So it's not only the things that I look at. I must be getting suggestions from what you guys look at when you're in that account. So sometimes I can go into the Discover thing and just be like, oh, Dylan or Joey or Danny or somebody's been watching like workout videos.
Well, I mean, I've been looking for ice bath inspiration because I do my ice bath video.
In fact, let's play one of those. Have we played one of those?
Danny's videos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Max he's going to be so resentful if we get a viral tweet just by copying his. And then we'll see how he feels about intellectual property.
Let me pull this up. I'm trying to find here. Danny Congos.
So it's going to be a whole podcast of talking about Meta, not Meta the company, just meta ideas of social media. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, dude. There's one down the middle. That one's funny. The
This
middle.
one?
No, the top middle one.
So Danny's been, if you haven't seen an ice bath video on Instagram or Twitter, like you're not on Instagram or Twitter, you can't fucking escape these things.
I gotta figure out my audio.
Now, a lot of you know that ice baths are really good for hardening nipples, shrinking wieners, and making you look like a far less threatening version of Tyson Fury with spectacles. But they're actually great for a number of other things. And one of them is to hack your brain to give you more dopamine, which is a good chemical. But what the health and fitness industry won't talk about is an even more effective brain hack. Just take one of these. I use a Husky brand. I'm a Husky brand ambassador. And this is a similar process to Elon Musk's Neuralink. You just take one, you just get the angle right, and then you just...
That's a good angle.
Clearly parody.
Yeah.
for any ambiguity there. Clearly a parody.
Like,
I watched that with the sound off, and I didn't realize you had put the. Is that the real soundtrack, or did you do a MIDI of that? What
It
is
was
that
from
version of that?
Instagram, and I couldn't tell.
It doesn't sound like the original.
No, but it actually.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest recording. It's something different.
But it's kind of cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounded like a synth rather than a real theremin.
It might be the real thing though. It might just start that way on the original. I think because it gets more organic as the recording goes on.
Breaking news on the chat. Danny Congus of Congus fucking dies in an ice bath.
Not from
That'll show
hypothermia.
them. Yeah. It's actually it's like 37 degrees in there when I'm trying to be funny. So I am
Actually freezing.
Yeah. And I'm fucking think of the next. I only go. That's the power, dude. We should record in an ice bath. You only have one take. You don't want to get back in there.
Yeah, but remember the Wim Hof video where he's playing guitar
Oh,
on ice,
man.
and it's like, I don't think it's possible. We end up making like Icelandic music or Norwegian music.
Yeah, I mean, as much as that guy has accomplished, he should not be allowed to play the guitar.
Speaking of clearly parody, this is not parody, even though clearly it seems like it. So I had followed this guy. His name is Timon Creek. And all his videos had no sound. It was just like little quotes. So I didn't know who he was. And then I finally came across the ones that have sound. So watch this.
There's nothing more dangerous than a person who healed all their pain alone. That person had more conversations in their own head than they did with any other person at that time. While at war with their own tears, they trained their mind and built a dangerous mindset. And there's nothing they can't do.
Bolt.
If you got to choose between me and another person, choose the other person. I'm not a backup plan, and I'm damn sure not a second choice. If you,
He gets up after every...
I'm working on three
he-
things right now: myself, my life, and my peace. So if you're not contributing towards any of those, respectfully, do not disturb.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know where that is. That's where you go see the penguins in Cape Town.
Yeah.
That little bridge. I'm 99% sure that's where you go see the penguins in Cape the Cape.
This reminds me of...
That accent.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. That is one of the worst.
You could be Stephen Hawking or, I don't know, Einstein. And if you started talking with that accent, it's difficult to take someone seriously with that accent.
I was spending
I don't
time
think
at
most people
Caprice
around the
all
world-
summer long.
Most people around the world don't have that association with the accent. I think us South Africans are sensitive to it. It's like the Australian. If you're Australian, you hear certain Australian accents. They're all going to sound the same to us, but to them, each different one is going to have a different association. Whereas, all of them might sound a little dumb. But
well, this is actually something I wanted to talk about because I had this thought because, like everyone that knows us knows, we like to do accents when we're in the studio, just talking shit. And I was thinking about there's certain accents you cannot do. I know we've talked about this without radically changing the shape of your face. Like if you want to do a very posh English accent, you have to do this kind of, like you have to actually change your face. And it made me think whether there's something about certain accents that is fundamentally more pretentious than others because you have to put on a whole mask and thing to do it,
Yeah, that royal family accent is like their jaws are made of jelly. They're just kind of, it's just all floppy. It's like
it's also, they might be smelling shit on their upper lip. Something around here stinks.
Yeah. We have to say a little bit feminine.
yeah, Philip. You have to add extra vowels in there. It's not Philip, it's Philip.
Yeah, Philip.
Well, it's kind of like it's a half serious question. Is there something to the way people talk of affectation that is less sincere, unless it's intentionally acted to achieve a result? I'm trying to think about people that you generally really respect when you see them speak. Is it more natural?
Yeah, because even there are, superficially, there's no difference between Aldous Huxley and some other pompous British person, but he sounds genuine when he talks, even though he talks like Aldous Huxley. He talks like he's so extreme with that accent. But so I think the point is that some sort of sincerity comes through despite the accent.
Yeah, because when you seen a lot of these Instagram doctors, scientists talking about like mouth breathing and nose breathing and how much it actually affects the shape of your jaw. So all these other things that you do all day long, if you're doing this always, it's going to just put you in a certain mood of talking in a certain way and probably change the shape of your face.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure. Physical affectations. Physical affectations and expressions and even postures and all that definitely have some link to your psychology, and your thoughts and everything like that. But I think that the quality and the intent of what you're trying to say, there's something else other than these measurable things, like mouth position and frequency and pitch and tempo and all that. There's probably some other factors that we're not measuring yet to distinguish whether something is just complete bullshit and all affectation or there's some substance with a little bit of both. Because you can see it in AI, or Instagram Reels, which is essentially AI. People have been trained by their social surroundings, where it's entirely the vessel. You're just looking at the vessel. There's nothing in there. It's perfect. Everything, the accent, what they're saying. Even they could be reading, the Bhagavad Gita, and it's still completely empty. So there must be other factors. Any ideas of what they might be?
For me,
intention.
It brings up the power of memes. Have you seen that meme? Very simple drawing of the guy standing in the corner, and it's used to say like, they don't know I have 20 Bitcoins in my wallet. It's always used for that. It's like his posture and his face, everything just exudes that attitude. And so that can be captured in like the tiniest, smallest nuance of like stick drawing.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. Because I used to write off memes as just like stupid internet way to communicate, but the more they become the way that people communicate, no one wants to write a paragraph to convey an exact idea or how they're feeling. It's much easier to just grab a meme and, put a caption on it, and it kind of says an entire book's worth of feelings sometimes. And I see the power of that basically, because with the basically onslaught of impressions that we each receive every single day, you don't have the opportunity to actually read the content. You have to reduce it to some symbolic gesture, like a meme.
Well, like what memes are doing is what I think existed in certain other languages. Like I've been trying to relearn a little bit of Greek recently, and like the old joke, like there's a Greek word for it. Like there's these single words in Greek and certain other languages that capture an entire sentence in English. So now in English, I think memes are the new way to capture an entire sentiment in one thing, like one symbol, basically, because it takes too long to say it otherwise.
Yeah, but they're
You could have said that a little quicker, actually.
yeah. The memeing of life. Yeah, well, we're going back. We're like language moved away from hieroglyphs for a few thousand years, and now we're going back.
Yeah, a picture's worth 1,000
Yeah.
words. What else? Dylan brought
We
this
do a
up.
little quick update on the tweet. So far, it has 5 retweets, 19 likes. By our standards, that's pretty good. We don't get a lot of likes,
And that doesn't
retweets
even
unless
include
we-
any retweets from us, right?
No, we haven't amplified this
We
in
haven't
any way with
self-retweeted
our
it?
alts.
Dude, if this could go viral, that'd be hysterical. It'd be the most successful tweet Max has ever done to blow up 2 bands and do that.
What we need to do is, like, if it does go big, then just add a reply and bump the thread with something like, "I was 37 years old."
Dylan brought this up. I haven't been able to verify this. Maybe someone can actually look it up. But you said there was a percentage of songs on Spotify that have never been listened to once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a stat on Twitter and I looked at his profile and he was verified. So it's probably real. No, but I believe it was real. 38 million songs on Spotify have never been listened to once.
How many of them are ours? Yeah, I mean, a good portion of that is probably bots. Well, not bots, but like people that are just
Right.
uploading like sound of trees, sound of ocean sort of thing. But there is something, you should be given 6 months if you can't get 20 streams. It can be a really low threshold because like we know how hard it is to get people to listen to music. If you can't get your mom or your dad or your best friend to stream your song once, then it gets deleted off the system. And you get put in timeout or something because it's just cluttering shit up.
Yeah, that's an actual stat. It could be one of those things that just gets repeated over and over and over again. But 38 million songs on streaming services had 0 plays last year. MBW shares some not so great numbers about music played on streaming services. There are 67.1 million tracks on music streaming services that in the 2022 calendar year attracted 10 or fewer streams apiece globally. These 67 million songs represent 42% of the entire catalog of tracks available on streaming services. There are 158 million tracks on streaming platforms. Nearly a quarter, or 24%, or approximately 38 million tracks attracted 0 plays. That makes me feel a little better.
Well, it's kind of like our stream. We do our streams to like 4 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
kinda
many podcasts out there get less than 10 views?
What does sperm think about all this? They're like 1 in 400 million make it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem to be the fractal of nature of, that's why in crypto speak, WAGMI, the WAGMI, we're all going to make it. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It was a meme in like NFT and crypto world. I think it might have even come from something before, the history of it. It might even be like a military thing or something. But basically, they adopted it as a thing. Like if there was some good news, we're all going to make it. That was the sentiment, and. It doesn't take a genius to figure out we're not all going to make it, because for every sell there has to be a buyer. And it's
Are you
the
just
same
promoting your
principle
song? Does every acorn become a tree? Does every tree?
No, I didn't even make that connection. That's how true my songs are. They come from my subconscious, and everything I breathe is an advertisement for my songs. But yeah, whenever I see that, it kind of went out of favor because people realized in a bear market we're not all going to make it. But
We're not all gonna make it. Hey, we should do a little cover of that.
Yeah. Wag me.
Speaking of covers, anyone that's not aware out there, May 5th, we've got a cover coming out of the song Surfing USA by the Beach Boys. That's like getting here pretty soon.
Yeah.
And then there might be another song in between now and then. Not a conga song.
What's the
project.
deadline for the upload?
Like this week, I think, basically. Later this week, we need to upload it.
Well, I think, yeah, we should upload something. I think be nice to not have those weeks go by without a release. Maybe we should even introduce Discord to the final process, you know? Go on a voice chat or something when you hit master and upload.
I've got some exciting breaking news. Over the last few days, we've had a cow break into our property multiple times. That's not a
Is
joke.
it a cow or a bull?
It's a bull.
What do you mean?
That's
It's
more
pushing
scary.
through a fence?
No, one of our... He's like a few neighbors down, which could be, I don't know how many acres, like 50 acres away or something like that. This bull showed up, and because one of the sides of our property has got either dilapidated fences or it's like a tree line of a fence, so there's quite open, a creek runs through it, or dry creek. And so he showed up and then disappeared. We corralled him into our gate and then tried to get him out, and then he disappeared, and then he showed up again. His owner has come got him twice.
And what, put him in a trailer? Or?
And he can't figure out how he keeps escaping his property. And he just keeps coming back to our land to eat the grass because we've got this really nice, like right now with all the rains, it's really lush and green. So he just shows back up every day. And Amber has to call the owner and say, hey, Kyle's here again. Your bull's here again.
This is bullshit.
Maybe he's pretending he doesn't know, and he's really just going and grazing on your.
I think, he knows what he's doing for sure.
I mean the owner.
Oh, the owner. Yeah, he's getting free
Yeah.
food.
That's funny that they're just going for that good stuff, you know.
Yeah.
No, it was someone saying on the chat, as long as he's not eating the garden, but the garden, I believe,
He
is...
ate one of my fruit trees, half of it, so keep him out of there.
So I don't know if you guys saw this. NASA has revealed that they're sending a woman, a black astronaut, and a Canadian to the moon for the first time. And here's my joke. I think it's great that they're sending such a diverse group of people to the moon to be the first people to walk on the moon.
To the moon for the first time
For the
ever.
first time ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've talked about this before. I keep inching up 1% at a time to believing that we haven't landed on the moon.
You're a waxing conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
You're
I'm not
gonna
there.
reach full pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm probably still on the majority believe we did land on the moon side, but it's like 47% believe we didn't now of my
Oh, that's
brain.
pretty high.
What?
Yeah,
I was like 97.3%, or maybe 93%, 7% on that we did land there.
Well, I've also
You
tried
gotta leave some.
Yeah,
You have to leave some portion open.
I've avoided watching any of the things that debunk the conspiracy theories because I
Because
don't.
it's way more fun to
Yeah, I
believe
don't
it.
want to know if it's all bullshit because that's a fun one to believe is fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I saw some of those official photos of the paper mache thing that landed on the moon. It's like, nope.
Well, I like the Kubrick aspect of it. You ever gotten into
Yeah,
that?
that's
That'd be cool if he did it.
fun.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Which have you seen The Shining?
Yeah.
No.
I've never seen that. I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Isn't there meant to be like people say there's like a moon thing in it, or like a?
I mean, with his movies, it's like everything
Is
people think is a
symbolic.
conspiracy, and
Yeah.
there's documentaries on called Room 239 or 2 because there's a room in The Shining that on the door, like a door number on one of the hotel rooms, that has got its whole own subcategory of conspiracies.
I like his Barry Lyndon's my favorite thing that I've seen of his. I liked it. I've only seen that, Eyes Wide Shut, and Clockwork Orange, but Barry Lyndon was the best.
I actually haven't seen Clockwork Orange.
It's good for the time. It's kind of like goofy, but the Barry Lyndon, he's just fucking uneasy feeling. Everything, he's got that uneasy feeling throughout the movie. The
Yeah.
entire time you feel kind of, and it's not like a cheap, it's not like a cheap thriller. It's like deeply disturbing for some reason.
Yeah, there's a couple movies like There Will Be Blood has that similar,
Yeah.
just like the whole time you're like, all right, when is the bad shit gonna happen?
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like you're getting better at immediately seeing whether a TV show or a movie is going to be shit or not? Or is it just that movies and TV shows are getting more obviously shit?
No, I don't finish things I don't like anymore. I don't.
I'm
say,
talking about like within the first. We watched
Yeah.
a trailer for that new show with the guy. He's an Irish guy, and like the vending machine gives you your life. Did you guys see that?
I saw that. I know.
The trailer looked okay, so we're like, oh, we'll give it a shot.
Let me interrupt you. Because you're on my Apple TV, you're logged into my Apple TV account, and I saw you stopped it after 3 minutes. I was like, let me see if Dylan was right or wrong about this. We made it 5 minutes and then stopped.
There's like one bad line, and the timing of the acting, the writing, everything was bad enough where you go, nope, okay, the whole movie, this is all going to be shit.
Yeah.
It's Apple. I mean, it's another one of those things they probably put $20 million into.
What's that? Everything Everywhere. I did that with that. I got 15 minutes into that, and I was like, "This one won a fucking Oscar. I got to keep going." And then I was like, "Nah, this is bad."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's get our viral clip for this week, because I've found when I post the clips on this to Instagram, nothing gets as much interaction as a controversial opinion about a TV show. Like, we could say something about Trump or Biden and whatever, like some controversial political opinion. It wouldn't be.
No, you could say something about someone's own mother.
Yeah,
To them, they wouldn't give a shit. If you insult their TV show, they are like.
The Lost of Us. We talked shit about the
Yeah.
Lost of Us, and people lost their shit.
What's actually sad is it's an indication of how basically that's the only source of intense emotions for people now.
Yeah.
Is that there's a kind of avoidance of real life or something like that, to the point where that feels like real life to them.
Oh, there we go. Say My Name says, talk about The Mandalorian or something Marvel or Star Wars related. Well,
You know how there's 38 million songs that have never been listened to on Spotify? Those shows rank somewhere down there for me. I will literally not even click on it. I don't even want to see the thumbnails. I'm not interested.
Of what? The Marvel
Of
shit?
anything in that new Star Wars, Mandalorian, whatever it is. Like, I cannot be bothered to even click on it and look at it. And I have Disney Plus.
Well, I started watching that Jason Segel show, Shrinking, and I quit fucking 4 ukuleles in. It fucking
We quit that one too.
yeah, Jesus Christ! How many fucking getting ukulele scenes can you do? And then he's like, "Oh, this guy's kind of a piece of shit in real life, but he's really funny in real life. I bet you he's funny in real life because he seems like a piece of shit." And then he's playing this person who's just like this. I'm being genuine and figuring my life sucks.
Is it Apple as well?
Yes, Apple is
Yeah.
straight up.
but that one also looks like it was made by the Association of Clinical Psychologists, or like, because it's very specifically
like
about a certain style of cognitive behavioral therapy
Right.
or something. It's like it was like an ad for that / a
Big
quirky
Psych,
fun
dude.
show. Yeah.
Big Psych is involved. You can, at least when they make Top Gun and the military's funding everything and improving every single shot, it's still fucking entertaining.
Yeah.
And it's still you don't care. I don't care if the military funds movies because it's fun. But
Yeah, also people's like,
if Freud's granddaughter is fucking pulling some strings out there to make this stupid show,
wait, so that's Apple, right? You said
Yeah.
Shrinking's Apple. The other one you mentioned is Apple. Apple, they did do Severance,
Yeah.
right? So they've got a couple really good ones, but there's something very weird about Apple. It's very.
they have turned into the screen that the lady throws the sledgehammer at in their first ad.
Oh yeah.
They're
Think about the data that Apple has, and they are, quote, the privacy, respecting company. They keep it private to themselves, the amount of data that they've collected, and that's what's writing these shows, or at least what's greenlighting them. They know exactly down to the minute within the script that something occurs and what word is used, how it's going to test with what audience. And then, the tail starts wagging the dog, and that's how they write shows. It's entirely feedback driven, and it's like they can look into the future. And they know how it's going to chart, and they know how they can promote it, and all that stuff.
If I don't like a show or a movie, I like to watch it to the last 5 minutes where they're about to do the big reveal, and then stop it, because I'd like someone there that's studying the date to go like, what did this? Like, how much did he hate it? Did he stop it here?
He watched 58 and a half episodes.
Well, this is there's obviously the law. There's not much that you could do that would be banned, and most of it is bad. But you think about, like, our grandmother in South Africa had to illegally import Henry Miller books or James Joyce books or whatever to go
right,
read.
yeah.
That was because they were fucking banned in America too. So I'm into Henry Miller now, and it feels like something real. And then you realize, oh yeah, it definitely was real because the government tried to fucking ban it. And
Right.
and then now what this overwhelming sensation I have is like the largest, most cash-rich corporation on earth is spoon-feeding people the right level of controversy, and it's highly palatable, sinister shit.
Well, it's also
Yeah.
something about like I think keep hearing this word vertical. Does vertical mean when you say vertical, like it's a vertically integrated company, to where like they're providing all aspects of the chain
It's a-
sort of thing?
I think it's where I'm going to go to business school to check this, but basically it's when there's a sector or there's a piece of the business that can grow vertically, you know, and like you take ownership of a vertical.
Okay, so,
So-
I was misunderstanding that term. That what I mean though
I
is the
could be
fact that like,
completely wrong.
Apple owns the device, the software, the show. Like it's all coming
Yeah.
from one source, and that probably is basically a problem.
Yeah. Well, I like how Amazon does health care now, right? Or health insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember someone saying that was the
No,
only
they
thing.
bought One Medical Group,
Right.
which was a collective of.
But their problem, they got to the point where they're such a big company that there was nothing they could expand into.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, fuck, I guess we got to be. So then the next
That-
thing is government. They should just become a government.
Yeah, that's where, I mean, it's essentially what's happening. You know, they're just going to now put a name on it. You know, the corporations are their government, but people are going to be so happy with the performance of the corporation, they're just going to accept it. You know, we're the United States of Amazon or whatever, and it's fine.
I'll tell
Because
you.
they own Whole Foods, so you shop at Whole Foods. What you do is you go and you buy a bunch of healthy shit, and that's going to lower your premiums. And you know there'll be some sort of economic balance where you can game the system and still eat chips and smoke cigarettes and just buy them somewhere else.
Except you go to Whole Foods now, and first of all, you can't find a decent bread of any sort there.
No.
Like it's a
Yeah.
fucking bread desert. An American grocery store. It's unbelievable, the shit. Like you can get good bread in America at small independent bakeries, but trying to find a loaf of bread at Whole Foods now is literally impossible.
Well, they all kind of taste the same. But at least you can pay with your palm.
Yeah, I asked one of the checkout people how many people are doing that, and he's like, probably by right now of their regulars, he thinks like over 25%, 30, 40%.
I'm pro HEB, dude. I've turned into a real Texan. HEB is where it's at. They,
Yeah, they'd seem like a.
I think at that scale, everything sucks.
I mean, and it doesn't. You can get cheese from fucking Belarus if you want.
I'll tell you, Costco has quality shit, and they do things at scale.
That's actually true. I don't know how the fuck they do that. Costco has always good quality avocados and.
It's because they have a
produce and-
very limited stock, actually, compared to even compare a smaller Whole Foods to a Costco. There's 5 or 10 cheeses you can get at Costco.
Yeah.
They pick good
Their
ones, and that's
quality
it.
control, I think, as well. I remember
Yeah.
seeing a documentary or like a little 60 Minutes on how they choose. This was more related to toys, but how they choose a toy to make it into Costco that they'll then store in all their places around the country, and it's fucking insane.
I think
So they
I
must be
think-
doing that with food as well.
I don't really have anything to back this up, but I have a feeling that at Costco they have actual human buyers, human beings with taste and with sort of criteria that they're trying to meet, who decide what goes in the store. And I feel like I've heard that on a podcast somewhere. But basically, when there's a human being involved in the chain, even on a gigantic big box store like that, then you might actually get something decent out of it.
Well, I was listening to a podcast talking about Amazon. It was pretty anti-Amazon, this guy, and the idea that they're sitting there watching all the data of what's the best mouse or whatever, computer mouse. Mm-hmm. They see exactly what sells. They know who it sells to, why it sells. They make the Amazon Basics version and capture that market. And it seems like they're doing the same thing in food now, because there's an increased amount of, quote, Whole Foods brand things that were the same thing before, and it's all organic. Everything's got that fucking word on it now, whatever that means. And it's like you don't really care about it as much if you get a cheaper USB cable from them. And you probably should, if you're going to be ethical, whatever that word means, in relation to what you buy. But when it starts to come into food, you see it becomes much more apparent, and like you see how bad it is.
I think a lot of times what they're doing is buying up brands or doing a licensing deal and putting their label on it. So it's not necessarily bad, because their mustard, the Whole Foods brand mustard, is a French mustard that used to have a different label, and it was really good. It's still good, and it has the Whole Foods. I guess we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, that's what I'd be willing to bet that unless there's a radical change 4 or 5 years from now, Whole Foods is going to be thought of as just another shitty grocery store.
I've been on that. I was early on this one. Because it's in LA, when we were living in LA, I'd rather go to Food City. The produce was better at Food City than it was at Whole Foods for some reason. Whole Foods is just like this wilted fucking 4 times the price shit. But I will say I got a baguette there the other day and I hadn't eaten anything all day. And if you just don't eat, things are pretty good.
From Whole Foods?
Well, there's a guy, I forgot his name, White Oak Pastures. I think I've talked about him before. He's a regenerative cattle farmer in Georgia, and with one of the most Georgian accents you've ever heard. And he talks about Whole Foods. They're pulling their stuff out of Whole Foods because he thinks that they're greenwashing the shit out of stuff, which, like, I don't know if you heard the term greenwashing now. It's like whitewashing. Basically using all sorts of vernacular and terms and words that have no oversight on them to make things sound like they're sustainable and this and that. So, like, their meat section, they've in Whole Foods, they've put 5 levels of quality to them. And, like, I think he and a few other farms are like the only ones with 5 where it's grass-fed, grass-finished, no chemicals, actual access to pasture and all that stuff. But then everything underneath that, 1 through 4, is basically sounds the same. And he's kind of upset with it. Now he's doing enough business online, his own, like off his own farm. He's pulling out of there because he says it's bullshit because like the level 1 and 2 says sustainably caught, whatever this, and it's just absolute nonsense.
If you look at the eggs, the greenwashing comes down to like they put a literal green label on something, and your brain's been so conditioned to think green equals organic equals healthy good that they just put green. You're like, oh, that's probably organic, and then you look at the eggs, and it's not cage free. They have it's like adverbs and adjectives where it's like cage accessible or outdoor accessible.
It's a
hen houses.
It's a kind of ploy in the same way that if you go to a fucking yuppie coffee shop now, they give you that it'll be like tip 10%. 25%, 30%. There's no.
Yeah, there's nothing below. It just starts right at 25 or 30.
Are you a piece of shit? Or 30%?
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny, can you click on the link I just sent? It's a YouTube link because I feel like this movie from the 80s called How to Get Ahead in Advertising nailed this sentiment, which still exists, and it's just kind of amplified. But this scene is like an epic scene that kind of says everything we're saying.
Hold on 1 second, it's just loading.
Yeah, I've talked about it a bunch. Like you'll see, I'm really into this, so I nerd out on this type of stuff. But when people, just the other day, I had a friend come over and they was helping me in the garden. We were talking about organic compost versus this or that. And like the word organic means absolutely nothing in certain cases. Like you can buy a fertilizer called blood meal or bone meal, which is like blood meal's blood from slaughterhouses that they've swept off the floors and made into a fertilizer. And if you could find a good source of it, it's very, very good source of nitrogen, and like amazing for the garden. But you can have blood meal coming from factory farmed animals. So it's full of hormones, it's full of chemicals, all that stuff, but it's organic because it's not a chemical. It's an organic source of fertilizer. So you've got same thing with compost. You'll have like dairy cows, that are not necessarily organic that they're collecting manure from, and it's like
even with people that have like got home chickens at home, which you immediately would think like, oh, that's great, and then you walk around in neighborhoods and people are just fucking spraying Roundup like it's like at a water party here.
Boston Dynamics makes my girlfriend.
Let me try and clarify some of this for you. Best Company supermarkets are not interested in selling wholesome foods. They are not worried about the nation's health. What is concerning them is that the nation appears to be getting worried about its health. And that is what's worrying Bestco. Because Bestco wants to go on selling them what it always has, i.e., the white breads, baked beans, canned foods, and that suppurating, fat-squirting little heart attack traditionally known as the British sausage. So, how can we help them with that? Clearly, we are looking for a label. We need a label brimming with health, and everything from a nosh pot to a white sliced will wear one with pride. And although I'm aware of the difficulties of coming to terms with this, it must be appreciated from the beginning that even the nosh pot must be low in something. And if it isn't, it must be high in something else. And that is its health-giving ingredient we will sell. Which brings me to my final question. Who are we trying to sell this to? Answer, we are trying to sell this to the archetypal average housewife. She who fills her basket. What you have here is a 22-year-old pretty girl. What you need is a taut slob. Something on foot deodorizers in a brassiere.
I'm not quite sure we can go along with that, Mr. Bagley.
Oh, all right.
Is that Alan Cunningham? Is that his name?
No, Richard E. Grant.
Richard E. Grant. He's
awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Him in LA
He's South
Story.
African.
Really? Huh.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. I mean, I think he moved to England, when he was youngish, but I'm pretty sure he's South African. Yeah, that whole movie's pretty good.
Have you seen With Nail and I?
I've watched.
have,
I
yeah.
started. I haven't. I meant to finish it. I
That
just
movie is
haven't.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. It's like,
Yeah.
but it's good. It's,
Yeah.
it's exhausting somehow, kind of like Train Spotting in that way where you just get exhausted by the mania of it.
Have you seen Train Spotting 2, by the way? Anyone?
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah, it was really good follow up. They do that the whole speech. Choose life. Choose It's a good, clever, self-aware sequel. Where the writer's aware of it, but doesn't make it like corny.
Should we do a few end of podcast updates? So, remember how at the beginning when I told you they changed the logo to Doge? It's up 27% since then.
Really?
It's over 10 cents now.
Hell.
And then, let's look at our likes on there. All right, so it's 26 likes, 6 retweets. Not bad for us, but so far not looking like it's going to be one of those huge viral.
It's not life changing.
No.
We
cannot derive our next year of income from that tweet, I'm afraid. So
Should I
people
quote? I'm going to quote tweet it.
Should have spent the time
I was 37.
that we tweeting that to buy Doge.
I was 35.
give it a minute, Danny, because we can bump it in a few hours when it's had more life.
Twitter strategy meeting.
Yeah.
Any special announcements for something releasing this month? No, I mean, we talked about it earlier in the podcast. We're trying to get something out. It'll probably be April 21st, I think. We're just trying to decide what that track is. We're going to finish the podcast now and try and finish one of those.
Pull up that picture. It's proof that we made it. The mug.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, did I lose it? Hold on.
I'm about 67% done with the If You Build It lyric video.
Okay, cool.
That's pretty exciting.
Someone I know from this local bar got sent this by their friend in Cincinnati. It's a thrift store with front lounge. We have a Congress mug I feel like we finally made it. Is that people are
moving on.
Couldn't be bothered to put that.
Yeah, they bought the
moving
mug
box.
and then they
discarded it. But they didn't throw it away.
Yeah.
If we hadn't made it, they would have just thrown it away.
Do we still have that?
No, I've been
on
meaning
the
to put it
store,
back
or-
up on the store. There's a bunch of things I need to put up on that on the store. See,
I can't believe they chose purple.
Purple was the ugliest color, yeah.
Yeah. Can I buy it? Are you in Cincinnati? Oh,
Can I buy 11? Yeah, you could buy 11.
I need that.
Let's put them on our web store.
Yeah,
this week.
we'll put them back up on the site, and then you can send them to a thrift store in your city.
By the way, these shirts are also for sale. If you live in Texas, they make a great conversation starter with local Texans. I don't know if you can see it there.
It's all blown out. You can't really see with that color.
Darn. It's an LA. It's a map of Texas with LA where Austin is, and Texans love it.
Yeah.
LA Dodgers logo, yeah.
All right, guys. That's the podcast for this week. We'll be back next week, and we're going to go try and finish a song now.
Real quick update. Someone finally made the obvious joke on Twitter. It says, in response to our tweet that Danny did at the beginning, which is a copy of Max's, just for a recap here. I was literally a virgin when I wrote the Come With Me Now song. And so Mahmoud responds, no one was, quote, coming with you back then, huh? All right, guys. That's our podcast for the week. We'll see you
can I
next
say
week.
it never got out of hand?
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.